His Excellencies, I would like to call on the Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Kwesi Quartey.
Good morning, everybody. Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Honorable Demeke Mekonnen, Your Excellency, Mr. Achim Steiner, Administrator of the United Nations Development Program and Vice Chair of the United Nations Sustainable Development Group, proud sister, Dr. Vera Songwe, proud daughter of Africa, and current Executive Secretary of the UN Economic Commission for Africa, my dear sister, Ambassador El Sahig Al-Faki Abdallah, Ambassador El Sahig Ombe Abdallah, Deputy Head of Mission and Chargé d'Affaires of the Republic of Sudan here, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I bring you the fraternal greetings of His Excellency Dr. Musa Faki Mahamat, Chair of the African Union Commission, who, for reasons beyond his control, is unable to make it here, in spite of his best endeavors and wishes. Nonetheless, I am truly delighted to be able to be here in his stead and share this moment of celebration with you. The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa could be said, figuratively, to have given birth to our predecessor organization, the OAU. The three guiding principles which undergirded this ambitious agenda were: one, reinforcing national ownership; two, developing country contextual responses; and three, ensuring effective delivery of development outcomes on the ground. To help member countries implement the 2030 agenda, the Secretary General Guterres sought to reposition the United Nations development system through changing organizational arrangements, skill sets, leadership, as well as a coordination and accountability mechanism in the United Nations development system. The United Nations General Assembly, that is to say the World's Parliament, welcomed the Secretary General's vision on 31st May 2018. The key reforms centered around the following: a new generation of UN country-centered programs around a strategic plan developed in close consultation with governments and led by an impartial, independent, and empowered United Nations coordinator. This was intended to allow member states to guide the system-wide action and to bring greater transparency and accountability within a robust evaluation system. Two, reprofiling and repositioning the work of the regional economic communities to broaden the link between the regional economic communities and the broader UN family at both regional and country levels. Three, a funding compact designed to bring better quality, quantity, and predictability of resources in exchange for accelerated repositioning and enhanced capacity of the system to deliver on the 2030 agenda with increased transparency and accountability. On partnership, steps will be taken for a stronger UN institutional response and system-wide approach to partnership for the 2030 agenda by strengthening the capacity of the UN country teams and engagement with headquarters, civil society, the private sector, international financial institutions, and others. The UN Secretary General could be said to be seeking to make the United Nations Development System an active partner in implementation of the Agenda 2063, for which we very much appreciate. The support of the United Nations regional bodies brings with it three major international interconnected functions. One, convening power in support of intergovernmental platforms, think tanks, serving as a source of knowledge, data, statistics, and evidence-based analysis for member states on priority policy issues. 2, operational functions, providing policy advice and targeted capacity development to assist member states on regional, global, and transboundary sub-regional issues. The United Nations and regional economic communities were to serve as policy integrator of the 2030-2063 agenda, to integrate the two agendas. Together, as policy integrator, they could focus on knowledge, policy, and research, and garner and provide global intergovernmental support, coordination, and alignment with the REX, the AU, and the UN development groups. Your Excellencies, under the rubric of Resolution 1998-46, the 5 regional mechanisms mandated by ECOSOC could provide a high-level policy platform for exchanging views on major strategic developments and challenges faced by regions and sub-regions in the alignment of regional and global agendas. This would help and should help promote policy coherence within the UN system in response to identified regional priorities. To us, what is critically and crucially significant in all of this is the role of organization and planning. Organization, as Kwame Nkrumah said some 50 years plus ago, decides everything. And organization presupposes planning, and planning demands a program to provide contextual basis. Planning also demands a common understanding and a common integrated perspective on issues. To conclude, Your Excellencies, all this brings me back to the question of Pan-Africanism, the CFTA that we see now, the free movement, and the single airspace, and all important aspects of the revival and development of Africa and of the African personality. Pan-Africanism finds expression in a reawakening of consciousness among Africans and of peoples of African descent, and of the bonds that unite us, our historical past, our culture, our common experience, and our common aspirations. So with these few remarks, Your Excellencies, Mr. Prime Minister, I have the distinct honor and privilege to wish the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa a happy 60th birthday. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Quartey, for reminding us of that history of Africa, which is very closely intertwined with ECA's own history.